May 2012, the Reebok Stadium, a day full of nerves, hope and ultimately heartbreak for Bolton Wanderers fans. After 11 consecutive seasons in the Premier League, an era filled with drama, unforgettable moments and famous wins over some of the league's giants, the Trotters were staring relegation in the face. Their final test came against Stoke City. A 2-2 draw sealed their fate, and with it came the end of an era. Bolton, once a team that had fought in Europe, that had seen legends like JJ Okocha, Yuri Djorkaeff and Ivan Campo light up the Reebok, were now heading for the championship. But even on that painful afternoon, the team was full of players who had given their all. A squad built on grit, determination and the occasional flash of brilliance. So, let's rewind the clock and take a look at the final Premier League starting 11, the men who wore the shirt on that fateful day. Adam Bogdan, goalkeeper. Adam Bogdan was just 24 when he stepped into the gloves of UC Yaskalainen, a club legend. The Hungarian keeper showed bravery beyond his years, producing spectacular saves while also making the occasional mistake that came with inexperience. His shot-stopping ability earned him the respect of fans who saw his commitment to the cause. After Bolton Wanderers, Bogdan earned a move to Liverpool, where he played cup games before moving to Hibernian in Scotland. He later returned to his homeland with Ferencvaros, though injuries restricted his appearances to just 15 league games in 3 years. By 2021, his playing career had wound down after constant setbacks. Since retiring, he's been a familiar face in Hungarian media after covering the Premier League and Liverpool. His story remains one of a keeper who worked his way up from understudy to international recognition. Dedric Boyata, right back. On loan from Manchester City, Dedric Boyata brought youthful energy and raw physicality to Bolton's defence. A natural centre-back, he was asked to fill in at right back, where his pace and strength really stood out. Though raw, the loan spell gave him invaluable Premier League experience. After leaving City, Boyata rebuilt his career at Celtic, winning multiple Scottish titles and establishing himself as a Belgian international. He then enjoyed 3 strong seasons with Hertha Berlin before moving to Club Brugge in 2022. His final years were less successful, as injuries and form saw him left out of their 2024-25 Champions League squad. Boyata retired in 2025 and immediately took up coaching with Belgium's under-21s, beginning a new chapter in the game. For a player once seen as a rough diamond, he's now shaping the next generation of Belgian defenders. Zat Knight, centre-back. Zat Knight was the towering presence at the heart of Bolton's back line. At 6'6", he was dominant in the air and the man his side leaned on to defend set pieces. He wasn't flashy, but he was reliable, tough and always willing to put his body on the line. After leaving Bolton in 2014, he had a short spell in Major League Soccer with Colorado Rapids before a brief return to England with Reading. He later wound down his career at Solihull Moors in non-league football. Once he stepped away from playing, Zat Knight moved to Los Angeles to start life after football. There, he set up a real estate investment company and even launched his own fragrance line. From battling strikers in the Premier League to business in California, Knight has carved out a very different second career. Tim Ream, centre-back. Tim Ream had only just arrived from New York Red Bulls, where he found himself thrown into Bolton's relegation battle. Composed on the ball and intelligent with his positioning, he stood out as a cultured defender. Though not the most physical, his calmness under pressure made him unique in the side. After Bolton, Tim Ream found his home at Fulham, joining in 2015. He became a leader at the club, helping them to multiple promotions to the Premier League. Ream also enjoyed a long international career with the USA, earning over 80 caps and playing in World Cup tournaments. In 2014, he returned to America to finish his career at Charlotte FC in the MLS. From the Reebok to the World Cup, Ream's steady presence has been admired across 2 continents. Sam Ricketts, left back. Sam Ricketts was the kind of player every manager wanted. Versatile, disciplined and reliable. Comfortable on either flank or at centre-back, he was rarely the star, but always dependable. After leaving Bolton in 2013, he joined Wolves and captained them to the League One title. Later spells at Swindon and Coventry followed before a knee injury forced him to retire in 2016. He quickly transitioned into coaching, starting at Wolves Academy. In 2018, he got his first managerial job at Wrexham before moving to Shrewsbury Town later that year. There he kept the club in League One and famously took Liverpool to a replay at Anfield in the FA Cup. Though his time there ended in 2020, Ricketts remains well respected as a young manager, forging a career in the dugout. Chris Eagles, right winger. Chris Eagles was Bolton's flair player, direct and skillful on the right wing. Fans always expected a spark when he picked up the ball, whether it was a dribble, cross or long-range shot. After relegation, he enjoyed a strong individual season, finishing as top scorer and creator for Bolton in 2012-13. However, his form faded and he left the club in 2014 after falling out with then-manager Dougie Freedman. What followed was a journeyman career, with short spells at Blackpool, Charlton, Bury, Accrington, Port Vale, Ross County and Oldham Athletic. Eagles returned for a Bolton Legends match in 2021, scoring twice and showing flashes of that old quality. Off the pitch, he was facing personal struggles, including issues with alcohol and a few legal troubles. More recently, he's been involved in youth coaching and occasional media work, keeping him connected to football. Mark Davies, central midfield. Mark was Bolton's engine room, driving the team forward with energy and skill, quick on the ball and able to carry it past opponents. He was seen as one of the club's brightest prospects at just 24. After relegation, he stayed loyal and even signed a long-term contract. But serious knee injuries ruined that progress. By 2017, after nearly a decade at the club, he left, having never fulfilled his full potential. Former teammate Robbie Blake later revealed he had once been lined up for a move to Chelsea before injuries struck. After football, Mark Davies moved into property development in the Midlands. His story is one of great promise, cruelly cut short by injury. Nigel Rio-Coker, central midfield, captain. Nigel Rio-Coker wore the armband that day, leading by example with grit and determination. He wasn't about flair, but he was Bolton's battler, always pressing and disrupting opponents. After relegation, he triggered a clause to leave on a free transfer and joined Ipswich Town, though he only stayed a short while. A move to the MLS with Vancouver Whitecaps followed, and he went on to play for Chivas USA and Montreal Impact. Rio-Coker's later years saw brief stints in Norway and lower league England before retirement. Since hanging up his boots, he's built a broadcasting career with CBS Sports covering European football. He's also working towards his coaching badges and has invested in business ventures. Based in New York, he remains a strong voice in the game, especially on the media side. Martin Petrov, left winger. Martin Petrov brought class to the left flank, his wand of a left foot capable of crossing, scoring or creating. At 33, he was in the twilight of his career, but showed glimpses of that quality. After Bolton's relegation, he played one more half-season before joining Espanyol in La Liga. He returned to Bulgaria in 2013, signing for CSKA Sofia, and retired a year later. Since retirement, Petrov has kept close ties with the game. He's worked as a pundit for Sky Sports and TNT Sports, offering insight on Premier League and European matches. Kevin Davies, striker. Kevin Davies was a beating heart of Bolton Wanderers, a true club icon. He embodied fight, determination and leadership up front. Strong in the air and relentless in the tackle, he gave everything for the Bolton badge. After one final season at Wanderers, he moved to Preston North End to mentor younger players before retiring in 2015. Post-football, Kevin has been just as active, running his own agency called KCD Management. He also worked as a TV pundit and earned a master's in sporting directorship. Beyond football, he's worked in charity and serves as a patron for grassroots football in the Bolton area. For fans, he remains one of the most important figures of Bolton's Premier League years. Ivan Klasnic, striker. Ivan Klasnic was Bolton's clinical finisher, always finding space in the box when it mattered most. His story was one of resilience, having returned to top-level football after a kidney transplant early in his career. After relegation, he left as a free agent and briefly joined Mainz in Germany, but injuries restricted his impact. Ultimately, his career was cut short by the same kidney issues that he previously thought he'd overcome. Since retirement, he's become an ambassador for organ donation and the World Transplant Games. He also successfully sued his former club's doctors for negligence, winning damages for long-term health problems. Today, Klasnic is celebrated as much for his courage as for his goals. At the helm was Owen Coyle, a popular figure known for his attacking style and positivity. He kept Bolton safe the year before, but couldn't avoid relegation in 2011-12. Coyle remained in charge into the Championship, but was dismissed in October 2012 after a poor start. His managerial journey continued, with spells at Wigan, Blackburn Rovers and Ross County in his native Scotland. He then moved abroad, working in Major League Soccer with Houston Dynamo and later coaching in India's Super League. Most recently, he returned to Chennaiyin FC in 2023, continuing that globe-trotting career. Throughout, he stayed true to his attacking philosophy, his calm leadership style, though relegation marked a low point. Coyle's time at Bolton is remembered for his passion and belief in his players. So there it is, the final Premier League 11 for Bolton Wanderers, a team made up of leaders, fighters and players who, despite the odds, gave everything they had. That day in May 2012 marked the end of an era, the end of 11 years where Bolton stood toe-to-toe with the very best the Premier League had to offer. But for the supporters, those players will always be remembered. They were the last soldiers of the Premier League years. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this look back, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know which team's last 11 you want covered next. As always, thanks for watching, not one for neutrals.